What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Amateur TV for another video on the second channel for Amateur. On this channel, I go through NBA-related content, especially concerning the Toronto Raptors. I have a main channel, Amateur Sports, where I do even more of that in a more professional setting, but this is for the additional topics that I also want to give dialogue on, want to give my thoughts on. We do so on this channel. This channel is getting close to 2,000 subs. We're on the road to that big milestone. If you like what you see from this channel and you want more Raptors content, make sure you're subscribed and also drop a like to support this video, help it reach some new viewers on the platform. But this video is going to be about something I guess I've seen all over social media, not all over. I've seen discussions about it in Discord. I've seen discussions about it on Twitter, maybe even a little bit in my chat on my YouTube live streams we do on my main channel. I do watch parties for every Raptors game there. But this is a topic that is a little bit, what's the right word for it? I wouldn't say I'm necessarily frustrated, but it's just kind of like a little bit annoying to see this sort of dialogue. And the dialogue is centered around Yuta Watanabe, because Yuta Watanabe has been on the Raptors for 2 seasons going into this season. This season, the Raptors did not pick up an option or give him a contract, whatever it was. They decided they did not want him on their team anymore, so he was a free agent, free to sign anywhere he would like. He decided to go to the Brooklyn Nets. And with the Brooklyn Nets this season, I mean, he's not exactly, breaking necks or anything with these statistics here, but he's been impressing NBA fans. He's been impressing Brooklyn Nets fans, and he's been impressing, I guess, Toronto Raptors fans. Raptors fans have been watching Yuta Watanabe play and thinking like, wow, our bench sucks. We could really use that on our team. Why did the Raptors get rid of this guy and sign somebody else like Juancho Hernangomez instead? And Juancho isn't even playing with the Raptors this season. So people thought that was a little bit strange, or wondering why he was getting all this time with Brooklyn, playing decently well, and why the Raptors decided to let him go completely. So for starters, we'll talk about the Raptors bench. It is once again really bad this season. Every offseason, I fool myself. I fool myself into thinking that this year it's going to be better. Our bench, they're going to improve. They're going to be better scorers. And every year I see him again and go, man, our bench sucks. And they always leave our starters hanging out to dry, especially guys like Fred VanVleet, who we saw, especially in those recent 2 games against the Chicago Bulls, more so the second night of that back-to-back. But Yuta Watanabe, is that a player that could help us this season? I mean, let's go to the numbers that he's putting up this season. This is Yuta Watanabe's page, the chosen one, as you see. But statistically speaking, he's getting more minutes than he got with the Raptors last season. He's putting up 5.6 points per game on 60% shooting from the field, 55% shooting from 3. Wow, the Raptors could really use a guy like this, because on our end, we're dealing with Juancho Hernangomez, who I'll take, I'm wrong on a lot of things. I'm right on a lot of things. I'll take my victory lap on this one. I spent the entire offseason trying to explain to you guys that this is not this is not that good of a player. I don't know why we're trying to make him out to be such an impressive role player for our bench. He's I don't even know if he's a guarantee to make the roster. I was called crazy and people thought I was a hater. Whatever. Juancho has played barely any minutes, and I mean, I would say for good reason. He's not a good defender. He scored 5 points this season in his 5 games that he has played, 40% from the field. I mean, these stats don't really mean anything. He's barely played any basketball. I watched him in the preseason, where just a little bit of a disaster on defense. And if you're not going to, the Raptors are defense first team, if you're going to sacrifice our defense with your presence on the court, you need to be really, really good at something else. If he's going to knock down 37% of his three-pointers, then yeah, I think there is space for him on the floor, because his height we can kind of hide. I also don't think Nick Nurse maybe is utilizing him correctly. When he comes in, he plays as the 5. So that's not smart to me, because he cannot protect the rim really well. But nonetheless, we're questioning. People are questioning. We cut the wrong guy. We signed the wrong guy here in Juancho Hernangomez. So why is Yuta Watanabe playing so well in the start of the season with the Brooklyn Nets, and he wasn't doing that for the Raptors? Or why the Raptors did not sign him back? Well, for starters, as far as Yuta Watanabe cracking a rotation, I kind of just spoiled it. He had 2 full years to do that, especially in that Tampa season where he got tons of minutes because we were tanking and we were giving playtime to everybody. he had lots of opportunities to prove himself, right? And there were signs in that Tampa season of development. Some things that he needed to improve on were his aggression and going to the rack, taking it to the hole, which I don't really know if he improved on at all. And another thing that he needed to do was make his three-point game, instead of being good. Nick, this is like a direct quote from Nick Nurse. Yuta Watanabe is a good three-point shooter. We need him to be scary. And in that Tampa season, 40% from three, there were good signs. Last season, it was 34%. It just wasn't as efficient. His defense seemed to regress as well from that Tampa season. It just wasn't what we needed. And every time we brought him on, he was a liability because he couldn't hit shots and he couldn't do anything else other than shoot threes. There wasn't really any space for him on the floor. There was a reason why he wasn't getting any play time. And he went to Brooklyn, and Brooklyn are a team who, like, polar opposites of the Raptors. We are a hardworking team. We are a defense-first team. We are a high energy sort of team. The Brooklyn Nets in the last couple of years have been anything but those things, especially for the hustle and the effort. Here's a guy in Utah who hustles maybe more than anybody and has more energy maybe than anybody on the floor. So the sharp contrast from what the Brooklyn Nets are used to seeing this is like, wow, look at this guy. He actually sprints on defense and runs around on defense. We have never had this before. So naturally, he's getting all this praise. And we're only 10 games into the season as well. Is Utah going to shoot 54% from three all season? No, these stats are going to regress towards the mean 100%. He's on a high-flying start, and I'm really happy for him, but there was just no space for him on the Raptors, and he had like 2 full seasons to prove that he was worthy of a consistent rotation spot, especially the Tampa season where he got so many minutes, and he just didn't showcase he was capable of handling that for a team like the Raptors. I like the guy. I like him. He's a very likable player, a player who is very easy to root for. Very good for him for showing out and carving a role out with the Brooklyn Nets. But this 100% reminds me of when Stanley Johnson signed for the Lakers midway through last season, and he was playing really well. It's the same thing. It was just the Lakers didn't have anybody who actually cared about defense or hustled. So it's like, wow, look at this guy, Stanley Johnson. He actually runs. This is like the exact same thing here to me. Utah's probably more talented than Stanley Johnson, who I don't believe has an NBA team at the moment. I could be wrong. But I think Raptors fans really just fall in love with the person rather than the player. I support the guys. I love all the guys in the team. I support the guys, but I understand that you got to win basketball games here. So I don't understand where these people that come out in numbers to support like Malachi Flynn and why he's not getting any minutes. Like, I'm not going to make a broad statement here, but like, are we watching the games here? Are we watching what happens when these guys are on the floor? Like, I get so many questions. This is more so about Malachi Flynn. I get so many questions about why Malachi Flynn is not getting play time. Why is Nick Nurse not playing Malachi Flynn? Would you, if you were the coach, like, do you watch him play? He doesn't do anything offensively. He's like, his bread and butter, the best thing he does offensively is supposedly shoot threes. He doesn't hit his wide open ones anywhere near consistent enough. And on defense, he's a complete and utter disaster. He gets blown by way too easily in one-on-one. He gets hunted in isolation. They look for the matchup against him and pick on him. Like, I guess, I don't know why I made this about Malachi Flynn, but this is the guy on our team right now who isn't getting enough play time. And then people are asking again, Juancho Hernangomez, who's in the thumbnail, why is he not getting play time? And why did we sign him? I don't know. Why is he on the team right now? Because we gave him a $2.3 million guaranteed contract that was bad at the time. I said it was bad at the time, and now it looks like, why did we do that if we're not going to play him? Listen, it would be nice, really nice to have a shooter like that coming off of our bench, but he's got to be able to do more, and he's got to be better defensively. If that just wasn't his game to begin with, then there should be question marks about why we signed him in the first place, and that's definitely a question mark that I have here. For Yuta Watanabe, he'd be in the same boat if he was here. He wouldn't be getting a lot of play time. He wouldn't be getting a lot of opportunity, nor would he really deserve it. And, great for him. He's in a different spot that he's more appreciated, and he's getting play time, and he's playing a lot better. But the question marks about, like, why is Nick Nurse not using our bench? Why is Fred VanVleet playing 40 minutes a game here? because we want to win games, and it's almost like we have no choice. This team right now in the last few games, and so many games last season, is an utter disaster when Fred VanVleet isn't on the floor. So there's no choice but to overplay the starters and underplay the bench because we want to win games. And unfortunately, playing the bench more minutes just it shouldn't like giving these bench guys an extra 3 minutes each just significantly decreases the chances of the Raptors winning some of these games. So Nick Nurse, his hands are tied. He hasn't been given enough of a bench supporting cast yet again to really support the starters here. And like Yuta wouldn't fix that. Nor does Juancho, nor does Malachi Flynn. So some fundamental issues with the construction of the team. Really, really love the core. Of course, Achua needs to get his shit together. But the bench, the deep bench is just relatively unusable. And it's unfortunate, but it is the reality that we live in here. Juancho I don't necessarily think he was the wrong choice to sign. I think giving him a guarantee jumped the gun a little bit. I thought he should have had to earn a roster spot. But hey, maybe Juancho starts lighting up from 3 later in the season. Personally, I can't see it. Malachi Flynn, the extension is still strange to me while he picked up that option. I can't see him ever carving out a consistent role with the Raptors. But I also didn't see Yuta ever doing anything there. I don't know. This video has gone off the rails. Raptors bench sucks, and it makes me frustrated that we haven't addressed it yet again. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video on Amateur TV. Drop a like if you enjoyed. I had some harsh words, but maybe you enjoyed my I would say, fair criticism, and I like to tell the truth, how I see it. I say what I see. I don't worry about what anybody else sees. I say what I see, and this is what I see, and this is what you come to the videos for, so make sure you subscribe to Amateur TV. Help me on my road to 2,000 subs on this channel, and I will see you again next time for more from the second channel.